especially these remittances. But moving on swiftly onto something different, and this touches on Africa, Caribbean and Pacific Summit that was held in Nairobi. And through this particular summit, we got to make a few changes where Kenya was given the mantle in terms of leadership. President Uhuru Kenyatta will be heading that particular summit, to be specific. And, he's outlined some of his near-term and long-term goals. Let's take a look. The ACP Summit has appointed President Uhuru Kenyatta as its chairman. This puts Kenya at the center of boosting ties between the member states.
As I take over as president of the ACP Group, I want to pledge to you that I will ensure that the vision and goals of this group are placed at the very center of all our international engagements, and that the ACP Group becomes a beacon of hope and multilateralism.
A key agenda in the summit was to strengthen the member states' commitment towards the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are the blueprint to achieving a better and more sustainable future for all.
Is the moment where we have a platform to be a common regulatory space, to uphold common minimum standards of human rights, law, business, environmental standards, to be a space of easier mobility of ideas, culture, people, goods, services, and capital.
Poverty, natural disasters, and food insecurity, among other challenges, still face member countries.
The world is characterized by competing geopolitical interests, new challenges to peace and security, and unprecedented constraints to the free movement of people. But despite these challenges, the ACP group of countries continues to thrive, and indeed now stands out as the world's largest transcontinental formal organization.
ACP nations boast of a population of about 1.1 billion people with a joint GDP of about 1.5 trillion US dollars. This provides opportunities in intra-ACP trade as well as building people-to-people relations within the ACP unit. It is up to the member states to tap into this and make it work for them. Well, there you have it, 1.1 billion people. And at this age and economic times, numbers seem to matter the most. How can we leverage on these numbers under the ACP?
Even more than that is a GDP quoted there, about 1.1 trillion. And I think to bring the point home, all those countries combined have a combined GDP of 1.1 trillion. That's not even the GDP of France alone as a single country. So it shows you how global wealth has really been not equally distributed in a sense. And for a long time, African countries have relied on the colonial ties to France, to the UK. But part of the new narrative right now is we need to have what is called South-to-South relationships, the global South. So African countries, Caribbean countries. If you look at Kenya, for example, the first mission we had in South America, for example, was in Cuba, for example. It just opened up the other day. For the longest time, we've never had meaningful relationship with the Caribbean countries, whether it's Barbados or Guyana or Jamaica. So there's a new thinking that we need to come together. And I loved what the Prime Minister of Barbados says. She said, we know about each other, but we don't know each other. So it's really a new time to really explore new business opportunities. What can we export to Jamaica? What can we export to Barbados? What can we import from those countries? How can we take advantage of Cuba's new economy that's emerging? Those are some of the difficult thinking that prevents traditional thinkers from exploring these new innovative things that can bring prosperity to both the African and Caribbean countries.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta being the chair, the new chair, does that offer a different opportunity, especially Kenya being now at the forefront of leading the ACP?
Absolutely. It offers a whole new opportunity because part of his agenda is to push the Pan-African agenda, and now more than that, the Pan-African Caribbean agenda. And in a sense, he's already done that, because we have the Cuba, Kenya, for example, healthcare arrangement that's already taking place. So this is something that can be very good for his legacy. If we can use Nairobi as a hub for not only African issues, but Afro-Caribbean issues, if we can cement that in the 3 years that his term will last, I think it can be a game changer for this country.
All right. Well,